when you're learning about anything in a Windows world and you want to become a help desk or IT professional, you really need to understand what is workgroup and a domain type of networks. And basically, a simple example that I can share: if you have 6 people in your house and everybody buy laptops, every single person will be managing their own laptops with their own single admin accounts. So if you buy a laptop in, let's say, from Best Buy, and that laptop, you turn it on, it's going to ask you to add a username and password, which is going to be an administrator account. If somebody else in your home get another laptop, you cannot use this username and password on this laptop and think that that's going to work. You can create a same type of passwords, but again, that has no connection between each other. So this account cannot do anything on this laptop because it doesn't have any connection. There's no centralized database to manage things. So basically, Workgroup is great for just home users and maybe small number of users, or maybe a lab environment where you don't need a Active Directory type or servers type of services, and you want to save money. Maybe, yeah, it's a good way to do that. But in businesses, if somebody is going to hire you for jobs, you really need to know what is domain type of network, how things are managed. So, well, in IT, you still need to know about the workgroup a lot, because when you get a new laptops even in business, it comes as a workgroup, like it's not managed. You need to convert it into domain joined machines, and you need to basically understand workgroup first, and then you need to understand the domain. So in this lab, we're going to understand that. We're going to do that from 2 ways. We're going to understand workgroup, and we're going to understand the domain. So basically, the domain is a server. It's an operating system from Microsoft. It's a server 2016, 19, 2022 now. And on top of that, you add those services, domain controller, and that's where Active Directory will be installed. So a lot of time you will come across this in our job description. A lot of people expect you to know about Active Directory. But remember, Active Directory is installed on the server. So for a help desk, the learning becomes very confused because, it's running off server, and a lot of people say, hey, server is a part of sysadmin skills. So then why teach Active Directory when it's a part of a server? But then the problem is a lot of people don't teach this stuff in certifications, and that's where you will come across those user password resets issues, adding a user, adding groups, lockout accounts. Everything comes under Active Directory. So it's a major skill that a lot of people don't touch. And we have been doing this for 10 years, and that's why we know that how powerful it is when you know about these things. And now even there's more advanced stuff going on. We're going to get to that type of stuff later on, okay? So this is workgroup versus domain. So why do you need this? Why do you need to know about, this whole setup? Like, why are we even teaching you this stuff? There's a reason behind it. And the reason is this: you want to apply for jobs, whether it's an entry-level job, whether it's a level 1, level 2, it doesn't matter. You go to any IT job, you're going to come across Active Directory just like what I'm showing you on my screen right now. So if you want to be confident, you get out of the college, you did your A+ certification, and you never touch Active Directory, then of course your confidence level is going to be low when you see something like this. And that's just one piece that I'm showing, and every single thing that we're going to touch in this training is going to try to cover most of these descriptions so you get confident. There's no way any training can cover every single thing that every job will post out there. So one thing is about your mindset as well. You need to make sure that you, from today when you watch this video, you need to tell yourself that, look, I am going to only understand 40% of the descriptions. The rest is just, I'm not going to care about it. If I know the 40%, I am going to pick up my resume and apply to these jobs, because the rest I can tell them, look, I can learn. I'm passionate. I will learn about technology. If I have done all of this learning all by myself and did all these labs, then I can do anything in IT. And that is the people that people are looking for. So that's where they're going to let go of their 1 year, 2 year experiencing, because now you're telling them something very technical, very good stuff that a lot of people will look for. So in that, the first thing that we want to touch is Active Directory. You will go to Indeed.com now today, do some practice, go to Indeed.com, type help desk with Active Directory, and you're going to see a bunch of titles, different titles relate to IT support, and you're going to come across it. just like that, creating a new user accounts, managing Active Directory, and then you're going to come across these type of tickets. So let's see. Basically, you're going to understand when you start working in a company, a ticket is going to look just like that. You know, Kimberly, first day in is Monday, April. Please set up her account in Outlook. Her phone, her office. What are they talking about here? They didn't even mention Active Directory. But if you didn't know about this, then how would you even understand that, right? This is not going to be possible for you to understand. They're talking about Active Directory actually. So if you look at this after this training, you're going to have this confidence. Even if you go to work, you're going to look at a ticket like this and you're going to immediately know that they're talking about Active Directory. In this ticket, which is basically a real ticket, this one specifically say profile pulled directly from Active Directory, which is managed by IS name blah blah blah. If you need to, and this is like a template. So now they're using a template. They have just a title needs to be updated. So now you need to know where the title is being updated in Active Directory. So this is what we were talking about. If you know about Active Directory, this is the next thing you're gonna get. You are gonna get tickets just like this, and people are gonna be sending you things like that. Now this account got locked out. Do you know how to unlock an account? So this is where a lot of people use Active Directory for user disabling, password renewal, accounts being logged out, groups you need to work on. So there's a lot of things that are going on in Active Directory. So this is why we need to build an Active Directory from scratch in this lab. That's where we're going to start. So then you know how an Active Directory is created. To open the lab, just like project one, you're going to open a new tab, type job skill share, go to the dashboard and click on practice labs, and then type 2019 sandbox, and then click on this lab. It will open your sandbox just like project one. You did this before, and then once you launch it, then perform everything step by step shown in the video. Because it doesn't have any documentation, it might always say in progress, or you can always click finish, but this has nothing to do with you finishing anything. It's just that we want to get into the sandbox. Now do remember, sandbox does not come with any support. We're doing this extra for our members. It does not come with practice lab support. Please do not submit any tickets related to this project. It will not be supported by any support. You just have to watch this video completely step by step to follow what we are trying to ask you. Or is it for the quiz, or is it something for the learning? Just wanting to remind that this is a sandbox. All right, so as we know, in sandbox we have 2019 domain controller. We have a domain member which is connected to a domain controller, this machine. Then we have a standalone server, which is this machine. It's not connected to anything. And then we have other machines. Now you have learned from this chapter, most of the time the trainer was saying something management, or central management and things like that. My focus is going to be more towards that, because a lot of time when you work in a company, you're going to be working on managed machines. But before managing a machine, when you have a laptop or a desktop, it's not managed. It needs to be managed, right? So if you get a brand new laptop or a desktop from a company like Dell or HP, so it's going to be unmanaged, which is what Workgroup. You probably heard that in chapter. So if you have not, make sure to go back to the chapter and learn a little bit more about this term Workgroup. And then there's going to be more of like domain connected or managed machines through Active Directory. So let's assume this is a company that we're working in. And in this company, PLab DC01 is a domain controller, and it has Active Directory, and all of these other machines are what are part of this domain controller. Not all, basically this one is being managed by this machine. This is a standalone, so this is not managed. This one is being managed. This one is a standalone, this is not managed. And we're not going to talk about Linux because we don't cover that in this so far. So now if you are a IT support and you get a brand new machine from your company, and they say, hey, this is the brand new machine, we have a Windows 10. So let's say you install Windows 10, you probably know that by now because you did that in the first project. So now they're asking you, can you join this machine because you just created this. Can you join it so we can manage it through Active Directory? And I'm going to explain a little bit of that as well, because you probably learned that also from the last project. That management comes with that. So in this scenario, we are going to try to manage this plab win101 through Active Directory right here. So let's do that. So to do this, we are going to go ahead and turn on plab 101. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. Let's turn this plab win10 as well. Now, how do I know it's not managed? There's two ways you can see that it's managed or not managed. So let's first go to the domain controller, which is already running. So let me pull this down and show you that this is a domain controller, that it has an Active Directory. So if we go to click Start, we click on Server Manager. And when you click on Server Manager and when you open it, you're going to see this ADDS. That kind of represent Active Directory domain services. So we are going to open that. So if I click on Tools and I click on Active Directory Users in Computer, this is where everything is being managed, right? So now if I expand practicelab.com, if I go to computers, I see that plab m01, which is this one, and plab win10, which is this one, is already being managed. These are domain joined computer. This means if I add a user here in this area and I add any user in this area, I can go to these machines, the managed machines, and log in with the users that I've created in this machine, and they can log into these machines, which is super cool, right? And that's how we do management. If let's say, imagine we have 1,000 machines in a company, all we got to do is to come here in Active Directory and add a user by right click here, go to new, and then go to user. And then here, I'm going to add a user. So let's do this. I'm going to do the demo here. Demo account. And you can practice with me on your servers. So that's pretty cool. You can do demo. Someone says D account. Let's just put it that way. So demo is the first name, last name, demo account, D account. I just put it that way. I'm going to click next here. And I'm going to give it a password. Any password you like, but make sure it's a little secure password, because it's not going to take a very simple passwords, and finish. So you see I added this account right here. Now for your testing, what you should do is you should log into this machine with that account. So let's go ahead and do that. Go to plab win10. And what I want you to do is, look, when you click on plab win10, it automatically logs you into an account. We don't want that. We want to make sure we see the screen just like you're going to be seeing the screen of a user. So you're in front of a person, your laptop is open, you basically click on these three dots, and then what you do is you uncheck this. So it takes you to this screen. We still don't want to use this screen, right? This is a remote services. We want to use this console. So when you do this console, it's like you're in front of the machine. You're not using any remote services. You're just directly seeing the machine like in a real environment. So now you can see the machines directly. It's going to be a little slow because it's using console services. So let's go ahead and double click on this. So now you can see the screen where you can click on other users. And here what you need to do, you need to type D account. Now remember, I never came to this machine to add this account, right? I added this account where? In this machine. So how is it working? That's through networking. And because this machine is being connected to this machine through Active Directory, it is being managed right now. So this account is using plab win10 machine, and I can log in because I'm just going to put that password that I created, and I click enter, and now boom, there you go. It goes back to the Active Directory, authenticate. Hey, am I in this Active Directory? Did somebody added me? I put the right password. Yes, because you are being managed by me, this Active Directory right here. I manage you, this machine. I manage you because I have you here, right, in my computers. And because a user is added in the user section, so you can use this machine to log in with this new user that you have just added. Now, the question to you, a member, can you do this on this machine? Now, number one, you know that this machine is not managed, right? Through the diagram, it's not an Active Directory. You know that it's not a part of an Active Directory. So, question is, can you do it? Yes or no? How would you find that? That's a part of your quiz. So in your quiz that you're going to do in this project, you need to answer that. Can you do this? Yes or no? And you will get the answer automatically. Now, to give you some tips, you can go to PLab Win 10, which is this machine right now, and you can basically find out by going to Systems, right-clicking on this machine right here. And sometimes this can take some time, so make sure to give it some time. So click on Systems, and once you click on Systems, then scroll down. You can close this. Scroll down and click on System Info. Okay, so remember, this machine is a part of domain. How do you know that? It says right here on the bottom, domain practicelabs.com. And then what does it say? plabintent.practicelab.com. I am, my computer name is this, and I'm a part of this domain. Why? Because I was a part of Active Directory. That's where everything is coming from, right? If I do change settings over here, then of course it's going to ask me for username and password for the admin, which you really don't need to put, but it's administrator. And the password is given in Practice Labs. You should use the same password. So there you go. So you don't have to do this step if you can't get it, because right now it says right here, it's a part of a domain, which is right here again confirming. You can go to change, and it's already a part of domain. So my tip to you is this: you can use the same steps that I did on this machine. You can go back to PLab Win 101, and it's not going to be the same over here. I just gave you a tip. So the question in the quiz will be, is this machine a part of domain? Is it being managed by Active Directory? Yes or no, or whatever the question asks you is going to be like that. And then you will give the answer. So if you fail that answer, I want you to come back and revisit this project, the previous chapter, and try to understand workgroup versus domain connected machines. A little bit more research will be required from you, but I feel like if you have watched all of our videos from beginning till now, you shouldn't have this issue. You should have a very clean answer right now because it's very basic. The next question and the next tips that I'm going to show you in this is to create a local account in this computer. So how do you create a local account? Now remember, when you get a new laptop or a new machine, it's not going to be connected to Active Directory, right? So it has to come with its own local username or password. That's the admin local user or password, or you can add more if you want to, because in your home it's not connected to domain or anything. Most likely your home computers have local users. So how do you find that? If you don't know this question and people test you, even if you tell them that I know about Active Directory, Office 365, anything else, and if you fail this question, I feel like they are going to reject you. Because think about it, if you are the IT support, you're going to get these laptops, desktops, and it's not going to be managed. So then if you don't know how to get into those machines and manage it with local users and these passwords, then I don't know, it's not going to be easy for you to do anything else, because that's extreme basic stuff going on right here. So in PLab Win 10, how do you get to local users and users accounts? So you right click, you go to computer management, and then here you see these local users. You expand that and you click on users. So you see now you have local users. Now remember, if you add a new user over here, it's local to this computer. It's not going to work on any other machines. Why? Because it's a local computer. So it says right here on the top, it says local. In Active Directory, when you were doing it right here, it's an Active Directory. It's part of a network. It's part of a domain. So when you add a users in this area, if a computer is connected to this Active Directory, then you could use that account to log in, just like we have demonstrated. But if you come straight to this machine, and let's say you add that local account, let's say same account that we're going to add right now, and let's say here we add demo2, right? And we give it the password. You can put anything you want to. And we create that. So it says access denied because I am a, why this denied? This is a security thing. I mean, imagine if everybody can come over here and add a local account and make them an admin or things like that. Things are going to be pretty messy, because when we logged in, when we created this demo account in this machine, it was what? It was a local, sorry, it was a normal user. It does not have any rights as admin rights. So to verify, you can go to properties of that account. You can go and click on member of, and it says domain user. Now, when a domain user logs into any other machines, they just log into their profile, but they cannot log in as an admin, right? I could change that by making this account an admin from there. I could change that, but we don't have to do that. We can basically get out of this account or log out of this account. So let's go ahead and log out of this account. So what you want to do is click on start, and we're going to click on this profile icon, and we're going to basically say sign out. That's how you sign out of the machine. So we're back into the main screen, and here we are going to log in with this admin account. Now again, the password is in the practice lab passwords. If you would like to see the password, you can click on this little icon, device information, and password is right here. So you could copy it if it does let you. So that's the password right here, password, simple password, right? So we click here and we click on administrator account, and then we're going to, it doesn't let you copy paste, so we're just going to type it. So now I'm inside the admin profile. So now I could do the same step. I can come over here and I'm going to click on computer management and local users, and here I'm going to add a local user, not an Active Directory user. Remember that. So if somebody tests you an interview, create a local user for me. How do you create a local user? Or on the phone, you need to give them this information that you're seeing, not the Active Directory one. So we're going to do demo 2. I am going to use a password here. You can use anything you like and add it. So now I have added this account. So if I close, as you see, demo 2 is added. Now demo 2 can be logged into this account. If I log off and log back in with this account, that's going to be locally logging on to this account. So there's another trick to this, because remember, this machine is connected to the domain. So this is another thing people can test you on. So let's log out right now. We're going to log out right now and sign out. So the first question to you is, can you log in with the local user that you have created on PLab Win 10 to this machine or this machine or this machine? Yes or no? That's going to be in your quiz. If you don't know, I probably already answered that, but you should give the answer after this. We created a local user on this machine. So can that user log into this machine or any other machines in this lab? That will be a question for you, because you need to be following my video. And at this point, you should have created a local user just like what I did. So now on the same machine, I am logging into the local account. It says, keep a good attention right here. If I do demo 2 right now, and I put the password, will it let me log in? It says the user or the password is incorrect. So the question for anybody, this is not a quiz now. The question is that you're looking at this and you're logging in and it's not working. But you say that I just added this local account. Why is it not working? The reason for that is very simple. You're trying to log into a machine, but you're actually trying to log into a domain, which is Practice Labs right here. Because it says that you're a part of this domain. I'm looking for the users that is the part of Active Directory, not the local user. So then, if, for example, this is shut down or this is having an issue, domain is having an issue, and this machine cannot be accessed now. It's totally locked right now. This is a CEO machine. They need to get to their pictures or their data. Then how do you get into this machine? Because you need to get in as an admin now. So how can we do that? So this is very important that you should know how to log into a machine that is a part of a domain and there's an issue going on, you need to get into the local account now because you need to fix things, but you can't because it says practice lab. So you need to change that. To log into this machine, you need to change the sign in to, and you need to make it local, whatever the name of this machine is. So how do you do that? So to do that, you need to remove this, and you need to type dot and the slash right above enter key. You see, when I use this slash, it says sign in to plab win 10. Even though if you don't remember the name of a computer, which it tells you right here, you could have just typed the name, but it's to confirm it, it's right there. And now if I type demo 2 and then log in with the password that I created, it works. And that is how people will test you on a local knowledge that do you know anything how to locally manage a computer and versus a domain, because domain comes later on. If you don't know how to manage a machine locally, then how can you even manage things later on? So this is why it's crucial for you to go to this plab win 10, create the way I created an account, do the same steps that I have done to locally log into this machine. If you go to this machine right now, plab win 101, if you try to use the demo 2 account, it's not going to work. And the question is already asked in the quiz because it's not a part of domain. So try these. I mean, you can use the same demo 2 account that you have created and do the same formula that I have done. Just go to here, uncheck the local automatically login account, click on console right here so you can use it directly, like you're right in front of the machine, then you're not using any remote services. And when you click on this right here, I want you to try it. I mean, try these things, because look here, it doesn't even show you any other things. So you cannot even do anything here. So this is what I'm talking about, that this is not managed, this is managed. So the next step is that how can you make this machines managed right now? We need to manage this machine. So admin, the password of this admin is where? You know where this is, right? So you're going to go a little bit up like that and you can click on it. It will tell you the password right here. This is the password. So now we're basically another scenario is that now you got this laptop, this desktop, you put operating system on it, you put software on it, you manage it the way the company wants you to manage it. They will teach you their stuff, they will tell you the software, they will tell you what to do with the email, everything, and now you have it in front of you. And now the question to you in the interview is that I want you to join pwin 101 to an Active Directory domain. How do you do that? Okay, so to do this, simple. You need to right click, go to system, and then we need to come down and we will click on system information, and then we are going to click on change settings. Now remember, it says Workgroup. Go back to your first question in the quiz. It's not managed, it's something different. So we need, every time you get a laptop, every time you get a desktop, you put in an operating system on it, it's not managed, it's going to say Workgroup. That's just how computers comes with. If you even open your home computers, it may say Workgroup right there because it's not being managed by anybody. But now the task to you is that we want to manage this machine. How do you do this? Follow the same steps, and then you click on change settings here, and then you will click on change, and here you will click on domain. So how do you know what is the domain that you want to use over here? So you need to go back to the plab DC01, and what is the domain here? You're using practicelabs.com. Okay, this is going to be also in the quiz. So to add this machine to a domain, what do we do? In the quiz or in the interview, you need to go to domain, you need to type practicelabs.com. In your company, they will have their own domain. Every company will have their own unique domain name right here, and they will tell you what that is, and you will basically use that. So we're going to go ahead and click on practicelabs.com. You see it pops up. So here you will use the admin information that you have, administrator account. Remember, not a local account or anything. You're going to put administrator and the password here. So when you put the administrator and the password, that is the same password right here, it says welcome to the practicelab.com. Now you have started to manage this machine. We're going to go ahead and restart it. This machine, when it's restart, it's going to be managed by what? An Active Directory, because you have connected that machine to Active Directory. How do you know? If you click on computers right here, if your Active Directory is already open, it's not showing, what do? You refresh, and now it shows up. So this confirms that 100% when this computer starts, it's going to be managed by Active Directory. So you can actually go back to Active Directory and add a new user here, or maybe even use the same username that you have added, and you can log into this computer as well with the same username and password, which is very, very powerful stuff going on, right? So you could add multiple users, try to add it over here now and manage this machine, and that's how you will be able to do things. Now in chapters, you also learn something about group policy. Group policy is basically same like Active Directory. So when you have a domain controller with Active Directory, just like that, it comes with group policy management. So let me show it to you. You're going to go back to your plab DC01 where your Active Directory, just like you open that. So we're going to close Active Directory. So you see, if you go to tools, you have Active Directory right here, and then you have group policy management. Now in group policy management, you're going to learn a lot more in your third course on your sandbox, but in this course we are going to also cover a little bit about group policy management, and later on you may see some labs as well. So here you can see, if I open group policy management, you can see that just like Active Directory, it has its own tree, so where you have a domains, and this is your group policy domain, which is practicelabs.com. Just like Active Directory, it's like in the same format. So group policy is coming from here. So this is a default domain policy. So if I click on it, you see this is the information about group policy. Now, what does this mean? This means that if any computer is connected to the Active Directory or being managed, for example, this machine now, and also we have added this machine as well. So whatever we define in this policy, it's going to basically apply to those machines, not the machines that are not connected to this domain. So let's say this is a standalone server, it is not a part of that. So this policy, that whatever we do over here, it will not impact anything here. If this was not added before, it didn't impact anything here. It only impacted this one. But now since we have added this machine as well, it's impacted. Okay, what does that mean? So let me show you how you can get into the group policy and play around. So we're going to go ahead and right click on this, and we're going to add it. So we're going to go ahead and add it, and oops, we just got an error. So let's go ahead and click on this. If you see reconnect like that, so we're going to click on reconnect to connect back to that machine. And that's how you see I just did a troubleshooting right here. I clicked on reconnect and got connected again. So I'm going to click on edit, and now you see this is where it's basically going to give us that information. So if I go to policies right here and I click on Windows settings, and basically we're going to click on security settings, this is where all of that information is coming from. For, like, you know, if you ever want to know what is the password policies or things like that, it's coming from here, account policies. And if I click on password policy, it's going to show me this. So this is exactly what's happening. If you go to that machine and you try to put, let's say, a password of 6 characters right here, if you want to create a new password on that machine, it's not going to work. Why? Because it's 7 characters. And that could be common interview questions, or maybe you're working in a company and you just got hired and you didn't know anything about password policies, then you should know that it's coming from here. So if a user call you and they say, hey, I'm trying to put my password ABCD. So first thing is that they have a complexity open. This means you cannot use a simple password. Second is if they are using less than 7 characters, it's not going to work because, you know, that's what's defined. Those managed machines cannot have less than that. And then you have these other information as well. Then there is this lockout policies as well, which is not defined. So for your practice, you can open this. Let's go ahead and double click on this right here. And you can enable this, and it says 30 minutes of lockout. So we're going to click on OK. So right here, it automatically added 5 invalid, which you can change later. So here. So what does this mean? If I go to this machine right here, and let's say, for example, we want to log in to a user that we have created. So let's do this machine, because we probably need to log in. So now we know that this machine is a part of a domain. If I click on it, you see it opens up and says right here on the bottom. So how do you know it's a part of domain? Now you have other user right here, right? And it says practice labs. Before we didn't have that. So when we added this machine to the Active Directory, it got this new information. So if I open this right here, demo 2, this is the account that we added the demo 2. So maybe I'm not sure. Demo account, sorry about that. Let's go back and type demo account here. And we're going to try to log in with the account user that we have created in Active Directory. Okay. And I'm going to put 5 times wrong password. The first time it says username is not valid. Then again. Then again. Now you must be wondering, when is it going to tell me that username and password is locked out? We're going to find that out if the username and password, when I created this policy, did it really applied yet? Because I probably have to restart the machine for it to work. So it's still telling me that its password is incorrect. This means so far the policy is not applied yet. So we're going to go ahead and restart this machine and try the same practice one more time, because when you restart it, what's going to happen? This machine is going to restart. It's going to say, hey, do you have a new policy for me? Yes, we do. Can you implement this new policy? So because we added this new policy just now, after restarting the machine, it's going to basically add that changes in there. And I will also show you what is the command that you can use later on. These are the things that you're going to learn again and again in different courses, because this is a very common practice. You need to learn these commands for it to work. So these are the things that you're going to come across again in future. So don't get too worried about command line or whatever commands I'm using. I'm just giving you some quick examples how we do things in a company. So let's go back and let's see if it's restarted. So now that the computer is restarted, we're going to go back and click here. And we're going to do other user. And we're going to do the account. And we're going to type the wrong password 5 times. Okay. 2. We're going to do it 6 times, by the way. So if it's not coming up, that is locked out. So go ahead and after 6 times of trying, log into this account. If you log into this account with the password, it's going to give you that message. The reference account is currently locked out and may not be logged on to. So this is a classic ticket for you. People are going to call you and they're going to say, hey, my account is logged out because I put a wrong password. Because you are working in a tech environment, you're going to learn later on that you can access Active Directory from your Windows 10 machine as well. For now, you can use a server. So you can open an Active Directory just like that, the way I opened it. So I'm going to go ahead and close this just to show you how I went back in there. So remember, you're going to go back to Active Directory because you're trying to manage people from Active Directory. Again, we're using server, but later you will learn from Windows 10 as well. So we got that error. So now you see I'm in Active Directory where I can, this is a right click. So you're basically in a tech right now. You got a call, you open that account, Active Directory, you find it right here by let's say finding it from here. You can find it from here like that, demo, and you can find that account, or you can directly find it in user and you right click on it, and then you're going to go to properties, and then you're going to click on account, and here is the unlock. The account is currently locked out in this Active Directory. It even tells you right here. So this is where your Active Directory training can start, and that's what you're going to learn in the 3rd course. So I'm not going to go too much, but here you click on checkbox, apply, and OK, and you tell the user on the other end on the phone or something that, hey, I unlocked your account. Could you please use your password again? And then they will put your password one more time, and then they will get in. If let's say they do not remember the password, then you're going to go back to your Active Directory and you will reset their password, right? Unlocking is different than resetting. By right clicking on the account, you're going to click on reset password, and you're going to give them a temporary password. If you want to reset a password, you will actually right click and click on reset password, and then you see that you're going to give a temporary password. And usually we always use this user must change a password at next log on. So when you give a user a temporary password, they use that temporary password, and then they get an automatic response that, okay, now you have used the temporary password. Now they can use their own password, the complexity requirements, everything is done. You tell them it has to be more than 7 characters or whatever your company decide. Then basically they're good to go. They tell, okay, I just logged into my machine, and that's it. Your ticket is resolved. So now after this, of course, you can also check this inside a user's computer. So let's say you are working in a company for the first time. They may not give you direct access to a server. Let's log into this machine right here, and then I will show you how you can use a command on a machine where you can find this information. So same way, we're going to log into this machine. We're going to do other user, and we're going to use D account. We just unlocked that, and we're going to log in to this user. As you can see on the new computer, we're using a user in Active Directory, and it's getting logged in right now. So let's say you are working with a user now. You're in front of them, and they're like, hey, I just logged into this machine. Can you tell me the password policy? Like, what is the password policy that I need to remember? And you're kind of like, okay, how do I do this right in front of the user, because you're being asked right away. So you're going to go to CMD, just like how you went to group policy and you were able to find that information through group policy. You could do it from here as well. You can just type in CMD, open command line, and you just type net accounts. Oops, sorry, you're gonna type that net accounts. So you see, when you type that, this is where it's pulling that information from. It's basically saying 7, so you're gonna say it's you gotta use 7 characters on your password. This is the time, the lockouter. So like, say you can tell them, hey, if you try this more than 5 times a wrong password, it's going to lock you out. But you can call us, we'll help you out, right? So you see how easy it is to the network commands. You're going to learn commands later on in this course as well in your labs. So this is very easy way to find that information. Even if you just joined some new company, try to use this command on your own computer. When they give you access, you log in. You probably have a good amount of access. When you try this, you're going to get information. If they already give you Active Directory inside your Windows 10, which you're going to learn later in your courses, you would be able to use exactly the way like you're doing in the server in your lab, like this one. So you won't have server access. They will just give you Active Directory access. So you're going to go to your machine and open Active Directory. They will tell you how to open that, or you will learn it from our courses. And here you could log in the same way. You're going to open Active Directory or group policy, and then you can find that information out. So another way to find group policy is through basically coming over here to, let's say you click on the group policy. So we're going to go ahead and open a group policy management, and when you click on the default domain policy, and when you click here and when you click on settings here, it is going to generate a report. So when you close that and you come down, and where is the account policies? Right here, you're going to find that. So right here, you see account policies. So it will open that for you as a report. So you can also use your group policy management tool if you have the access. If you don't, then you use this command to find this information. It's very easy to do this. So another question a lot of people can ask you in interview is that, okay, I just implemented a new group policy. What is the command that we use to apply a group policy if you're actually on the computer? So you will type gp update/force. This means group policy updates. You see how it says updating policy? So if I come over here and I change something, and sometimes maybe someone will change something over here, and they'll say, hey, can you run that command on your client machine? So you will be able to do that. Another way is to restart the machine, because that also works. Sometimes some policies may require you to restart. So these are two methods that you can implement a policy. So what this means in a technical way, you go to edit, and if I come to policies, and if I go to Windows settings, and if I go to, let's say, security settings, account policies, and I double click on, let's say, account lockout policy, and I change this 5 to 8, and I click on apply. So if I come over here right now, that's not gonna show me anything that's changed right now. So if I use my up arrow, you see net accounts, if I do that, it is still, right now it is still 5. So the question to you, how do you change this if you have changed the group policy and or somebody call you, hey, you know, I just changed it as an administrator, I want you to run the update command. They didn't tell you anything. They just say update command for group policy. They didn't tell you what command it is. You should know that. It's called group policy gp update /force. You're going to use that. So I'm going to go ahead and use gp update /force just like that, and I'm going to enter. So when I enter, it is updating the policy right now. So remember, we were here before at 5. Because we went out there, we changed it, then we need to use this command. Either you do it manually like this on the machine, or you restart the machine, or once you get good at technology and you know how to do things remotely, later on when you become pretty good at this stuff, then you will learn how to do this remotely as well. You will be able to push a command remotely, so then you never have to go to a computer. So this is how we do technology. This is how we do our skills enhancement, and that's how we become better in IT, because we know how to do things remotely, to how to do these things later on. So here you go. If you see this is updating policies and it's stuck, just hit enter. It's going to show these commands right here. So now if I go back to my commands, net accounts, look what happened. That changed right now. So if this computer is signed out and somebody comes in again and then they use the password 8 times wrong password, they're gonna get locked out. So now make sure to focus on your quiz. All of the questions will come from your quiz. If you have done everything the way I did in this project, you should have no issues with your quiz. If you have done your projects or your chapters correctly, you should have no issues passing the quiz. Thank you.